Hello guys, welcome to NameTech channel. My name is Nehemiah and I'm very happy to have you on board. This is lesson 10 on Django and we are going to talk about the Django syntax. But then before we begin, please take a minute, subscribe, like and share the video to your friends if you have not done so. And to the returning subscribers, I really appreciate you very much for your continuous support. So guys, basically in the previous tutorial, we created an extra view for testing our codes, and we also created another template called template.html, basically for testing our code, and basically that's what we are going to use in this tutorial. So if you don't have that view and that template, ensure that you've watched my previous tutorial and you have created it. So let me just open it, and let me just open my views, and guys, basically this is the view that we created in the previous tutorial, the testing, and we created some object here, and with these items inside it. So we are going to begin to discuss about the syntax, Django syntax, and we are beginning with the variables. Now let's talk about the template variables. And guys, basically in Django templates, in Django templates, you can render variables by putting them inside the pair of curly braces. So let me just show you. For example, let me just change it here to perhaps first name. Let me just say first. Let me just say first name, and then here let me just use perhaps something like let me use Nehemiah. Let me just say the first name is Nehemiah, my name, and then to the template. To the template now, let's go to the template, which it is templates.html for testing our code. And then here just at the top, I can just say something like h1. Let me use a heading 1 tag, and then here let me say Mr. Perhaps Mr. Then let me use now the double pair of curly braces, and then inside it we are gonna say a first. It was a first name. Ensure that you will write the exact variable, otherwise you will have an error. Mr. Mr. variable name there, so it will replace with first name to Nehemiah. Mr. Dash loves coding. So what we are gonna do, guys, let's execute the code at the terminal. First of all, open your file explore, then navigate to your project directory. Mine is at the desktop. Then open your project, and then here the URL, click once, type in cmd to open the terminal, and then here what we do, let's activate the virtual environment by typing scripts /activate activate.bat. That's to activate the virtual environment. Then to run the server, let's say py manage.py run. That should be run server. And then let's hit enter to open the server or to run the server. Let me copy the URL, and then to my browser, let me paste the link there. And then it is a testing view, so let me just type in a testing, and then you can see now it is Mr. Nehemiah loves coding, so it has replaced the first name to Nehemiah. So guys, basically this is how you can do it. This is how you can basically use the Django. You can create variables in a view, or basically use the variables inside the. You can use create variable inside the template by using the with the tag, the with tag. So it is quotation marks. Then let me just show you an example for that, but I'm not going to that. So for example, you can just say open and close the braces, then percentage, sorry, where is percentage, and then say with, then percentage, close with a percentage, then here between these with, type in your what, your variable. Like you can say last name, then you are gonna assign it to your last name, and then you're gonna type in your last name. But then I don't want to go into that. So guys, basically here you can add in your last name. But then guys, I don't want to go into that. But you can create a variable like this, then to use it the similar way on how you can use it with the views. So guys, let me talk about data from a model. Now guys, basically in this example, just an easy approach on how to create and use variables inside a template. But normally most of the external data you want to use in a template comes from a model. Now basically we have created a model in the previous tutorials. We call it member. I remember models just like what, a table or a database. So we created the member model, and we'll have to import it in the views .py file and extract data from it. So let's get to the views. So where is the views? Let's navigate to our views. Here it is, the views. And then what we are gonna do guys here, let's instead of context, actually context is our object, but then here we are gonna replace with my members. Let me type in, it was my members. I remember my members, and then here let me use what, let me say my members. Let's say my members, and then what we are gonna do guys here, let's first of all create an object here at the top. Let's define my member here at the top. So let me say my member, then my members, then let me assign it to member model, member, and then dot objects, should be objects, member dot objects, then dot all, and then remember this all you enclose with the rounded brackets. Then let's say values also we're gonna say what, all. So in this way we are set to use to extract data in our basically in our model, and use it in the templates. So now what we are gonna do guys, let's navigate to the templates, and to the templates guys, let me create an ordered list. Let me just delete this style so that it may not confuse you, it may remain blank. And then here let me use an ordered list, ul for an ordered list. Then let me use a pair of what, curly braces, and then here type in for, I'm gonna talk about these tags in a few, but then let me just show you for x in my members. It was my members, right? My members, then a percent. That's the opening tag. Closing tag, you remember? Closing tag, we just say open first of all the curly braces, then type in a percentage, then let's say end for end for, then a percentage, end for percentage. Then inside here we are gonna use what, the li, the list itself. Then here let me use the variable. Remember to use a variable, I said that I use what, this pair of curly braces. Then let me say x. Now let me say x dot first name should be first name like this. So guys, ensure that it is correct. You can see here I have an error. It should be first name like that. Then what we are gonna do, let's refresh in the browser. Let's refresh. And then guys, basically you can see that it has given us the first name of our members. So guys, basically we use this Django template tag. This is for 4. It is inside the curly braces as you saw here, inside the curly braces, and then 4 to loop through the members. But then let me talk about these tags, guys. Let me talk about these Django tags in a few. Now guys, basically in Django templates you can perform programming logic like executing if statements in the for loops. Now basically these are keyword if and for are called the templates tag in Django. Now to execute template tags, we surround them in the curly braces with the percentage symbols, opening and closing percentage symbols. So let me show you guys another example here. Let me use another example here. And then do I have to delete these stuffs here? Let me change the context actually to the views. Then here to the context, let me just do it. And let me first of all, guys, do this. Let me just delete this one. And then let me show you something else. So now in the context, let me use now perhaps let me say greetings. Let me say greeting. Then here perhaps I can say 1. I can use an integer. Let me just use an integer here. Let me say something like 1, and then what I do to the template, here to the template, guys, I'm gonna say perhaps let me use now these are Django tags. So if, let me say use if statement, if greeting, then equals to 1. If a greeting equals to 1, and then let's say what, let's say something like let's use a h1 here, and then here let me say surely let me just use a small, let me say hello there, hello there. Otherwise, first of all, let me use now this else a keyword. First of all, remove the indentation. Then let me say else. Else keyword. Remember, this else should be inside these the braces. Then a percentage. Then let me say else. Else. Then what you do? Let's close with the percentage symbol. And then else. Let's say what? Let's say let me create an indentation there, and then let me say h1. Let me say else goodbye. Goodbye. And then perhaps I can say also let me now end the block. Let me say end. First of all, remove the indentation there. Then let me say what end. First of all, open and close the braces. Then let me type in percentage. Then let me say end if statement, end if. Then now let's type in some words here, some characters here. So let me say P for paragraph. And then I can say what I can say. I don't have to type in there. What I do, guys, let me. I forgot to delete these tabs. Let me just delete. And then what I do, guys, let me say what. Let me run these codes at the terminal. Actually, the browser. And then guys, basically you can see it is goodbye. So guys, let me talk about this Django code. Now basically the template tags are a way of telling Django that here comes something else than just a plain HTML. Now basically the template tags allow us to do some programming on the server before sending HTML to the client. Let me just show you guys another example here. Let me just delete let me just delete these are codes here. Let me just delete, or what I do here, let me just delete. In fact, guys, last time I forgot to delete this UL, this unordered list, but then let me just delete it. Then I'm gonna use it again. Then here, first of all, open and close the braces, then percentage. Then let me now use a for statement, for loop. And then here, let me say for x, should be for x in my members. Remember, we have to define these my members in the views, but then we are going there in a few. Then I type in a percentage, and then also do it close by typing what? By typing the end for. Let me say end for combined, then a percentage. Then here, let's now use our list. Then in the list, let me say what? Li. And then let me use the Django tags, basically for variables. Then here, let me say for x dot what? X dot first name. We can decide to print the last name, but then let me just use first name. Ensure that you have a correct name there. And then guys, here the views also, let's define what? Our variables there. And then guys, basically in these views, we are gonna add in that object here, actually that model here. And then here, what I do, guys, let me say my method. Let me now define it. Let me say my members, my members. Then let me assign it to the member model, member to the member model. Then let me say dot objects, and then what I do, let me say dot all, should be all. And then you close. And then also for values, let's say dot values, also you close. And then here the object, we are gonna use what? My members, the object actually as a key. So let me say my members, and then my members. And then here, let's say what? Let's use a member. It should be my members, right? My members are like that. Then what we do, guys, let's try to run the codes at the browser. Let me run, and then guys, basically you can see it still works. So guys, basically let me talk about some Django tags, of which you can it's available on our website. You can go there. But then we also have the block. You remember we used the block in the previous lectures. But then a block specify a block section, comment specify a comment section, auto escape specify auto escape mode if it's on or off, extend specify a parent template, filter basically filter tag, specify what? Specify the content before returning it. And then for specify a for loop, if specify a if statement, and so forth. Guys, basically these tags are available on our website at the nametech.com website, and then at the Django. But then guys, for now, let's handle the Django if tag. Let's now focus on the if tag. Actually, if statement. Now guys, basically an if statement evaluates a variable and execute a code of block if the value is true. So here the views, let's begin from the views. Here the views, let me first of all remove this object, the model here. And then here I can say a greeting again. Let me say a greeting. Then here perhaps I type in what? I type in a value, an integer like 1 or anything. And then here the templates. I can say what are the templates, and then here ensure that first of all, where are we? Here are the views. Ensure that you have the context here defined, and also the request. And then now here are the templates. Here the templates, guys. We are gonna say what, let me use now the if. So instead of deleting everything, let me just change to if statement, if greeting. Remember, when you use in Python, when you use two pairs of equals operator, you are equating. But if you just use a single equal operator, it means that you are assigning. So if greeting equals to 1, and then we are gonna do what? Let's say print. Let me now use h1 here. Let me say hello, hello, hello there. Hello there. And then remember, this one we are assigning. So let me say end if. Here, instead of just deleting, let me just type in here end for. But it should be end if, sorry. It should be end if. And then what you're gonna do is let me remove what these are UL unordered list. And also these are opening tag of unordered list. And then what we are gonna do is let's do what? Let's refresh the browser. Let's refresh the browser, and then guys, you can see it does what it prints. Hello there. Let me talk about the elif now, guys. Basically the elif keyword says if the previous condition were not true, then try this condition. So guys, let me show you that. Let me show you guys that. First of all, to the views, let me perhaps change it to something else, like let me use a 2 this time. Let me change it to 2, greetings 2, and then to the template. And then here I'm gonna use what, greeting 1. Then here instead of let me just use 1. Let me just use 1. Then let me say here, let me add in the elif here. L should be elif greeting 2, greeting what, greeting equals to 2. Sorry, let me equate to 2, and then basically print out what, print out, let me use a h1 again. Then here let me say what, let me say welcome to Nemtek. Welcome to Nemtek. And then what we do, let's close with the end if tag. Let me say let me open and close the braces, and then here let me type in what, percentage first of all. Then let me say end if, then I close with percentage. Let's close with a percentage. And then what we do guys, let me refresh the browser. But then let's do it. Let's try to refresh the browser. Let's try to refresh the browser, and then guys, you can see it is welcome to Nemtek. Welcome to Nemtek. So guys, basically what this elif keyword says, if the previous condition is not true, then it will print out the next condition, of which it was, you can see it was not 1 because we changed it to 2. So if it's not that one, it's gonna print out the second one. Like let's try to print that one, and so it will print out hello there. I think hello there. Yeah, you can see it print out hello there. So guys, basically, and this is the elif. Let me talk about the else. Now the else keyword catches anything which isn't caught by the preceding conditions. So now what we do, guys, what we do here, the views here, perhaps let me change it to 3. Let me use a 3 this time. And then here the template.html. On our template, let me use what, let me let me use what? Let me use an else keyword here. So here, let me just say else. We know that 3 is not available here, 1 and 2. So what I'm gonna do, guys, here, let me use what? The else. If it's not in 1, it's not in 2, then let's use now the else. And then what we do, else, then let me type in h1 again, and then let me say what? Perhaps goodbye. Goodbye. And then let's now end the if statement there. Let me say percentage. First of all, open and close the braces, then a percentage, then let me say end if, then percentage, and then type in a percentage, and then what we do, let's try to refresh the browser. Then I can see it is goodbye, because 3 is not available in either 2 or 3. Or let me try to change it to something like 1. When I type in 1, it will print the values of 1, of which is hello there. It will print hello there. So if let's try to type in to my, let me change it to perhaps something like let me change it to 2. Then guys, basically it will print out welcome to Nemtech. If we will not specify 2, then it will print out 3. So guys, basically there are many tags you can use in Django, other operators that you can use in Django. But then there's something that I want to show you. Perhaps the parentheses are not allowed in if statements in Django. So when you combine and in the or operator, it is important to note that the parentheses are added for the and, but not for the or. Meaning that yeah, guys, basically you cannot do that in if statements. So guys, basically there are many other tags you can check out on our website. That is nametech.com, then /Django. Then you are going to have access to all those tags. But then for now, guys, let's discuss something else. Now, guys, let me talk about the for loop in a few. And remember, a for loop is used for iterating over a sequence, like looping over items in an array. And guys, basically, I showed you previously that example. But then what I do, guys, let me just to the views. Let me just undo so that we may have those variables. And let me say what? Let me just use the previous one, the fruits. So let me just say fruits here, and then here are the templates. Let me now change the values, and I use perhaps let me say for x in fruits. For x in fruits, then remove this less than operator. For x in, then in this h1, I'm gonna use a variable here. Here let me delete, and then type in what? Let me type in what? X, and then let me type in what? End for not if. And then guys, here I forgot, we should remove these 3 here. We should remove these 3. Then what we do, guys, let's try to refresh the browser. So basically these are for loop is used for iterating over a sequence or a looping over items in an array. Remember, there are many other things that you can talk about, even including the query sets. You can talk about other stuffs, but then in this case, let me just end there for the for loop, and then I discuss let me discuss about the comment tags. Now, guys, basically comments allow you to have section of code that should be ignored. Like guys, what I'm gonna do, let me navigate to my text editor, and then here what I do, let me add in a comment perhaps here at the top. Remember, a comment is something that is going to be ignored, it will not be printed out in the browser. Like here h1, let me type in h1, and then let me say perhaps hello world, then and this h2, I'm going to use a comment here. Remember, it's defined using the Django tags are defined using these braces, then percentage, then let me say comment. A comment is written with a double e comment like this, and then I close with the percentage, and then what we do, guys, here, let me say what, let me add in what the closing tag of the comment. So open and close the braces, then I type in percentage, then let me say end comment, end comment like this, then a percentage, and then here I can type in some things that I want, like I can use some h1 again, then here let me say let me type in h1, then here let me say welcome to NameTech, welcome to NameTech. So guys, basically Django, basically it will ignore what it will ignore these words here, this h2. So what you do, let's try to refresh the browser, and then guys, basically I can see it prints out hello world, but then it does not print what this welcome to NameTech. So comments are very useful when when working with Django, so that it may help you to do it, to ignore certain words. So basically you can as well add a comment in a description. So basically guys, you can add a message to your comment to help you remember why you wrote the comment, as a message to other people reading the code. Perhaps if you're working with different developers, and then you want to leave a comment there so that they may understand what you're talking about. So what you're gonna do, guys, let me say for example, in this comment section here, you're gonna add in quotation marks, like actually these are quotation marks, and then let me say what this is a comment, this is a comment, like this is a comment, and then what you do, so other developers will know that this one was a comment, so it helps them to understand. So let me try to do it. Let me try to refresh, and then I guess you can see it still doesn't print out. So basically these comments are very useful. It can help you understand, actually tell your developers or the team that you're working with that this part was just a comment. So you can also use the the braces, and then a hash tags when commenting out a code, when it basically, which can be easier for smaller comments. If you have smaller comments, like for example, in this hello world, I can use a tag here perhaps, then let me type in open and close, then here let me just use a hash, let me use a hashtag, then let me type in what for example, let me say hello there, let me just say hello there, and then you close with the hash. You'll see that it will not print out. So let me run, and then guys, you can see it doesn't print out that part, because it's just a comment. You can as well choose a comment in views by basically you can use a comment in view by just highlighting what, by basically the short way to add a comment in views, just highlight the parts that you want to make them a comment, then add what, click Control plus the backslash, then when it is green like this, it means that it's a comment. So basically you just begin with a hashtag, then it will do what, it will print it will make it a comment, so it will not print out. So when we try to run this code at the terminal, you see that there will be an error. It will not print out. You can see it is server error. Why? Because it doesn't recognize this part because it's a comment. Let me undo, and then let's try to refresh the browser, and then you can see it does what it prints out those stuffs. So guys, basically comments are very useful when coding. Now finally, let me talk about the include tag. Now guys, basically the include tag allows you to include a template inside the current template. And guys, basically this one is very useful when you have a block of content that is the same for many pages. So what I do guys, let me just show you an example guys. Let me just show you an example. Perhaps let me create another part, perhaps the footer. Remember, a footer is always repeated in every section. So what I do, let me create another document, and I'm calling it another template. Then let me call, sorry, ensure that you are at the template. Then let me say something like a footer. Let me say footer footer.html, then hit enter, and then these are footer. Perhaps let me say what let me perhaps let me use a p tag here, and then sorry, let me use a paragraph tag. First of all, let me use a HTML snippet. Then here, let me just use a paragraph tag. Then let me say p tag, and then here let me say you have reached at the bottom. You have reached the bottom, and then basically let's try to modify the views. Basically let's try to add what these let's modify what that part of the views, and let's modify what that part of the views. And then perhaps let's try to remove this part, and let me remove this part, and then we are gonna remove this context because we haven't defined it. This part, let's delete, and then guys, basically here the HTML. Then we are gonna say what basically to the template here. Basically here at the bottom, let me say what here at the bottom. Let me just say include percent first of all, and then let me say first of all percent. Then let me say include tag, include then footer, include. Now you're gonna say footer, include footer dot html, and then what we are gonna do guys, let's try to do it. Let's try to refresh. First of all guys, let me do it. Let me remove this part. It will give us an error if we don't remove them. Let me just delete this part, and then let me add also another paragraph. Then let me say perhaps let me type in some lorem code, and then what I do, let me do it. Let me refresh. Refresh, and then guys, basically I forgot to add the percentage. That's why you can see it brings us an error here at the bottom. What I did, let me just try to let me do it. Let me add in a percentage here to show that you've closed. You see the importance of adding this percentage. Otherwise your code will appear the browser, it will give you an error. And then guys, basically you can see it prints out you have reached the bottom. So this is how you can do it. This is how you can include. You can use the include a tag on your project. You can as well use variables in include. But then what I do guys, let me just show you how to use what the variables in include. So basically guys, you can send variables into the template by using the with keyword. And then in the include file, you refer the variables by using the variable name. These are curly braces, two pairs of curly braces, and then a variable name. What I do, let me just delete these stuffs here, and then let me delete first of all. and then type in percentage, then again here let me say percentage again, braces, then a percent, then let me say include include, then I'm gonna create another file called perhaps my menu, sorry, let me call it my menu dot html, and then what you're gonna do is here, let's say with basically we're gonna create that template there, but then here let me say with what, with me, and then equals to perhaps something like let me say Nehemiah, then also let me say sponsor, let me use what, a name tag, sorry, should be name tag, should be name tag, and then let me also create some h1 tag here. Let me use a h1 tag, then in this h1 tag let me say welcome, something very simple, welcome, and then also the paragraph p, let me use a lorem, perhaps lorem 10, so that it may generate 10 words, and then so guys, what you do guys, let's also create another another template called my menu. Let me create my menu dot html, then I do at hit enter, and then in this my menu, let's create something like a menu, a very simple one. Let me use a div here, and then here perhaps let me say home, and then this is called what, this straight line here. Now let me use a Django tag here, pair, then let me use me, sorry, let me use me, then also about, let me say about, then then these are slash, then let me say perhaps forum, it should be something like a forum, let me use a forum, then what else, let's add this slash again, then let me use a Django tag here, opening, closing, then here let me use a sponsor, we are going to modify in the view sponsor like this sponsor. I think this is what I use here, the template. Let me just be sure, sponsor, yeah, ensure that the spellings are correct, otherwise you'll have an error, sponsor. And then guys, basically let's modify the views. The views guys, basically in the views, ensure that you have codes that look exactly like this here, the testing template. Ensure that you've modified and that it look exactly like how it is in this way, otherwise it will not work. And then what we do guys, let's now run the browser. Let's try to run the browser. Let's refresh, and then oh guys, basically we forgot again to add what, the percentage there at the end, and that's why you can see it brings the error. So here the templates, ensure that you've done what, you've added the percentage here to close, otherwise it will have an error. Then let me refresh, then guys, basically you can see this is how you can do it, this is how you can include. So guys, basically this is what I wanted to show you in this tutorial, and I think you've gained something. Please now consider subscribing, like and share the video to your friends. Until next time, this is Nehemiah. Goodbye.